Hey, good morning, guys. Yes, it is. It's Friday. We made it to the end of the work week, right? So, what are we going to talk about today? We'll talk about your sanity. Yes, even on a good day, your sanity is in question, right? Anything you take on in life, you have to look at the long game, not just the quick fixes, because the quick fixes don't last long, do they? So, stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric. If you didn't already know it, yes, this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Friday, the 24th of July of 2026. I heard that when I was younger. You got to play the long game, Eric. You're too busy want instant gratification, and they're short-lived. And you keep wanting more and more and more. But you don't look at, all right, where do I want to end up and start planning. When I was younger, 10 years was a long time to wait to get anything accomplished, right? Now that I'm in my 60s, 10 years, I could be dead. So things started to change for me when I started looking at investing in myself and in my future. You know, I think I told you guys this before. I'm not much on stocks, bonds, and all that. Why should I put my money in a horse that I don't know very much about? Whereas if I put the money into me, I'm the horse. If I lose it, the only one I can blame is the one in the mirror, right? But if I win, I also get to give credit to moi. So that's where things started changing for me, was starting investing and looking at long term. Where do I want to get to? What do I want to accomplish? And what is the desired outcome? You know, some of you, it may be money, but not, it's never been money to me. Money is just a means to get more crapola, all right? It does make your life a little bit more comfortable if you haven't got to worry about it, but still, it's the devil's what have you. So when you're running a business, you're investing in yourself, right? If you're participating in it. And what do I mean by participating? I mean, if you're running a repair shop and you're a one-man band or a two-man band, you're still owner, you're still involved in the day-to-day operations, so you're part of that investment. If you're looking at just buying businesses and you being the money man and having somebody else run it, it's awfully hard to do that, right? Because you have to get the right person in there. And that right person has got to have a lot of ambition to want to see that business succeed, but not enough so that they want to take it over and become the owner. That's where the fine line is there are people out there that are great to do startups, and then there are people out there that are really, really great that know how to maintain and grow a business once it's off the ground. Those people are few and far between as well. Okay. So what do we mean by the long game? All right. So if you want to get from here to Florida, you need to plan out, are you going to drive 24 hours, 23 hours, and some minutes or whatever? Because I know it was 22 or 23 hours when we drove to Alabama from New York to go deer hunting. But it's like planning out a vacation. You need to know where you want to end up. You don't need to have it be 100% spot on. We'll figure that out as we get closer, right? But we at least need to know what are the things that we have to accomplish along the way to get to that point, right? And we're going to have short term and long term goals. The short term is trying to stay in the blue, right? Increasing in size, if that is your forte, so much growth a year. Most companies look for a 5 to a 15% growth on the smaller end, and then less on the big change. putting a new dollar store in might change it by 0.1%, for their books and stuff. But a company needs to see growth every year in order to become relevant, to stay relevant. And if you're not growing, then what are you doing? Are you maintaining? Are you just trying to keep doing what you're doing and you're comfortable where you're at? Because if you are, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But for most people, they're looking at how can I get the business to this point? And that's the long game. You're working at it every day to try to figure out what is involved that's going to help me along the way to get to my end result goal. All right, so the first thing you need to do is sit down with this works for me. Maybe you can use your phone. I don't know. Sit down with a pad and paper with a pen and just start writing down everything that you can think of, just kind of scatter like a shotgun effect of what you hope to accomplish. What do you want to accomplish? And then draw a list and look at it as start sorting it down through what is priority, what isn't priority. Having a new lift in the shop might be a higher priority than hiring on an intern for the summer. You need to make that determination of what is more important to you. Nobody can do that for you, because I know if I sat down 10 people and said, what are your top priorities? I would get 10 different answers, because each one of us has a different priority, right? And it's not going to work if you're trying to get to my priority any more than it would work if I want to get to your priority. Because your priority, in my mind, may be low on the totem pole and it's not worth my effort, right? But to you, it is. I guess what I'm trying to say is that's okay. The end result is you don't want to burn yourself out. So if you're going to run a business, start a business, you need to get into a business that you're not stressing the whole time you show up. And you're going to say, but business is stressful. Yes. I mean, you have good stress and bad stress, but stress is stress, right? No. The way I've always run the shop most of the time is very laid back. Time goes by pretty quick. We get a lot accomplished, and that's all I care about. Am I looking to make millions? No, that's not my priorities anymore. Am I looking at just maintaining the business? Pretty much. I downsized for a reason at my age, my health, that it was time to start slowing her down a little bit. So my priority is probably going to be different than you if you're in your 20s or 30s. Well, I want to have a business twice the size of yours, Eric. That's okay. Plan it out. Figure out where you want to be. And then start plotting on a roadmap of how to get there. Years ago, we used to get maps, right? And we draw out our line of how we're going to go down through the interstates and this and that. Now we got GPS. But the same thing holds true to years ago. If you were going to do some traveling, you get the big map out and set it on the kitchen table and start tracing out your route, right? That's kind of what I'm saying to you today, about when you want to grow your business, maintain your business. You decide what it is that's most important to you and where you want to end up long term. And then put a circle there and put a circle at where you're at and say, okay, what do I have to accomplish to get that much closer to my long-term goal? So you got short-term goals that are things I need to get, hurdles that I need to get over. If you're just starting a business, it may be getting a business name, license, sales tax number, credit card processing. All those could be short-term goals. All need to be done before you can reach the end result of being twice as big as I am. So you get all those out of the way. That's part of your roadmap. That's the beginning steps that you're doing, right? Now you got it up so that the door is open and you can accept credit cards, you're paying sales tax in, you're doing all the right things. Next thing is we got to have customers coming in through the doors in order to do all that stuff, right? So you got to do some marketing. Check the videos on file, guys. I've done a lot where it didn't cost you a dime because I took the hit for you. I tried radio, TV, print. It don't work. Facebook ads, Google, AdWords. They just took a lot of my money. But those are short-term goals within a long-term goal. And now what's going to happen if you come up against a roadblock of something that you can't get around? The bridge is out. So what do we do now? Well, we look at a different route to get down to the next bridge, across and back to the road we want to be on, right? That's how life is. If you hit a wall and you can't seem to get through it, how can you do a route around it, a detour? That's where successful people differentiate from normal people. Successful people don't take no for an answer. They just figure out a different way to do it. Most people, they hit the brick wall and they're like, well, that ain't gonna work, so they just stop. You need to decide what's most important in your life. Whether it's your personal life, your business life, maybe you're working for somebody else and you like to be your own boss. You know, everything that you want to accomplish usually is accomplishable if it's planned out. The ones that I see that fly by the seat of their pants most of the time do not last a year. They run out of money. They go spend stupid money in areas they shouldn't be doing. You know, when I talk to you about starting a business, maybe a small engine repair business, what do I tell you? Come into it slow, debt free, and build customer base first, and take the money that you're getting from working on other people's stuff, invest it into the tools that you need, and just keep growing to the point of when you get ready to step out and buy a building or lease a building, you've already got a pretty good clientele list of customers base, right? And you're not heavily laden with debt. Most places now, which they won't tell you, is they're not floor planning anymore because of the cost. And they're not hooking up a dealership because of the cost of inventory that they have to spend. These companies could care less. You know, it's kind of like, well, you got credit, so we'll give it to you. And used to be, you know, like the manufacturer would put a lawnmower for sale, and if you sold it, you paid them so much, you kept so much. Not anymore. It's all GE Finance or one of the outdoor power equipment finance companies that handle it. And the manufacturer is out of the loop. They've been paid between you and the finance company, the leasing company. I think the best way to do it is don't carry a lot of inventory because inventory is getting obsoleted so fast. You know, oil filters, fuel filters, spark plugs, yes. Ropes, have enough to do your repair work. But you don't need to have $20,000 in inventory on the shelves to make your business more successful because it won't. Usually if you spent 20,000, you're going to be lucky if you can get that 20 back out unless you have a lot of walk-in traffic, okay? So in the comments, you guys that are doing this like I am, did you look at long-term goals? Did you set out a roadmap of some kind to try to get there? And when you hit a brick wall, did you find a way around it? I would say yes. So on that note, it's not going to be a long video. You guys have a great Friday. If you're still here and you haven't subscribed, liked, or rang the bell and commented on the way out, please do so. It helps us out immensely. You guys have a great weekend.